when your neck is basically tilted forward and doesn't
Mm,
sit basically on top of your spine. And now for every inch
mm.
your neck is forward, that's putting 5 pounds of pressure on your cervical spine,
Wow.
which is
2.5
massive.
kilos for the metrics.
Yeah,
So
yeah, totally. So that's it's enormous.
hello, Yana. Hello, viewers. Pleasure to have and speak with you here on JB10 Mobility Fitness. Today, we are going to be talking about how to improve your posture in just 10 minutes a day, which is what JB10 is all about. 10 minutes a day makes a big difference to your mobility. It is quite that simple, isn't it, Yana?
Yeah, it is. It is really simple, actually. Once you discover the how potent even 10 minutes of mobility is, you kind of wish you started a lot earlier.
So how do we, I mean, from the posture, what are some of the issues with posture? Because when I think about posture issues, I've seen some older people walking around and they're kind of like the Quasimodo. They're kind of hunched over. Is that what we're talking about? How to avoid that with a bit of mobility?
Yeah, so there's definitely one group of people that's called actually a kyphosis. So
Yeah.
it's what usually happens to older people. They get that kind
Mm,
of forward posture. It's usually because they have really shortened chest muscles and elongated back muscles, and it's kind of like an aging thing, bit of effects of gravity and
yeah.
the effects of not doing mobility and strength training. But what I was referring to more is about I even see teenagers with
Mm,
really bad posture, and mainly they will have the forward neck.
yeah.
So when you for those of you who are watching, it's
Yeah.
when your neck is basically tilted forward and doesn't
Mm,
sit basically on top of your spine. And now for every inch
mm.
your neck is forward, that's putting 5 pounds of pressure on your cervical spine,
Wow.
which is
2.5
massive.
kilos for the metrics.
Yeah,
So
yeah, totally. So that's it's enormous.
it's
It's just
massive. Yeah.
enormous amount of pressure, and that's only an inch, which is about 2 centimeters. So
Yeah.
imagine, I even see 16, 17-year-olds with really significantly, misaligned head. And so
Mm,
you think about them when they're 20, 30, 40, they're going to probably have to have surgeries on their cervical spine, which is the spine in
wow.
the neck. And
So
it's
is that
because
from the
of phones.
devices? Because
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because when you see, like, if you stop on the street and see teens, they are on their phones all the time. But what
Mm,
they are not doing right, they're not bringing the phone to their faces. They are
yeah.
bringing their heads or faces down to the phone.
Yeah.
Essentially, devices for older people is, us having to work at computers.
Mm.
Because after a little while, you will inevitably start kind of itching forward and collapsing the posture. I mean, I don't see how anybody can sustain a really beautiful posture for eight
Mm.
and a half hours a day. It's just too much.
Yeah. So how does someone, because there's the issues with posture from a teenager starting looking at their phone, and then to gravity taking effect because you haven't got the strength to fight gravity. How do we, with mobility, do that 10 minutes a day? What can we do in those 10 minutes to actually improve our posture and improve that strength?
Mm. So you have to think about, if you are in that forward state, then obviously you need to be stretching the other way. So
Mm.
even as simple as at the end of the day, lying down on the ground
Yeah.
will gravity will actually push your head back where it should be. And that might be quite
Um,
uncomfortable for most people if they are really forward. But when you think about a flat ground, and if you're lying down on your back,
mm.
your spine will be perfectly in line. So then
Yeah.
you are immediately putting the head back where it should be. And even doing just some simple mobility movements where you're opening the chest and closing it. Because when you have that forward posture, that means that your pectorals, your chest muscles are shortened, and then
Mm.
your back muscles are elongated. So what you need to do is you need to stretch the chest muscles,
Mm.
but you need to strengthen the back to contract
Yeah.
the muscles back to their original position. So it's actually quite simple, very simple movements, even lying down on the floor, or you can lie down on a foam roller or rolled up blanket where you put one end of the foam roller underneath your head
Mm.
and the other end underneath your sacrum. And then you're just lying over it. And gravity will naturally open the chest and it will stretch. So these are like incredibly passive stretches where you actually don't have to do anything. You just have to lie there.
Well, that's what I'm looking at.
And,
As I'm listening to you
yeah.
talk, I mean, this is all about, we hear it all the time, work smarter, not harder, but
Oh,
you don't often see that. But what you're talking
yeah.
about is not even working. You're just laying there.
You're just laying there at the end of the day. You can still be checking your emails if you really have to. And I
Yeah.
often tell that to my teens. I say, lie down on the ground where you're on your phone.
Yeah.
Because
So just hold
because
it up,
then
hold the,
just hold it up above, yeah,
yeah.
or pay attention to bringing the phone to your face rather than
Mm.
bringing the head down to the phone. Yeah.
Is it that case of just having that awareness? Because you'd be doing that during the day. It's like if you're down there like that all the time, but if you just every now and then hold it up, is it a case of just doing that sort of thing?
Yeah,
Is that,
absolutely. It is really as simple as that, just
yeah,
becoming aware of it, you know?
wow,
So then you're not loading the cervical spine so much and creating this, it's not a very attractive, it's not only bad for you, obviously,
mm,
because it's putting a lot of load on your cervical spine, but it's also not very attractive. I mean, we all walk
yeah,
around looking like zombies,
yeah,
they're
and
kind
like,
of,
you
you
just,
know, I call it the zombie posture. Yeah. Some people call it the prawn posture. Some people call
yeah,
it the sea
I,
posture. Yeah, it's
yeah,
not very attractive. And it's, you kind of disengaging your abs in it as well and becoming kind of rounded. And it's
mm,
not a very, it's not a posture that exudes confidence and strength.
yeah. Well, there you have it, viewers. To
Mm.
improve your posture, 10 minutes a day. Don't do anything. Just lay down on your back. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for tuning in. This is JB10 Mobility Fitness, bringing you the simple, easy ways to take care of your fitness and health.